room to grow, do you get a sense of like something's like that's actually possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. 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 So what's it like now? Since we started the conversation.
It feels like now, or like I was supposed to be interviewing, and then you kind of like interviewed me. That's what it felt like. But that's cool. So, yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying you a lot. I'm enjoying it watching you kind of become more and more animated, more and more alive as it seemed like you got more present too. Actually, I just felt more related to you.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, do you have any questions for me? Any more questions for me?
I guess what does a weekend intensive look like? What do you do?
What do we do?
Yeah.
It's basically, well, you're in a room, and then there's other rooms, and we basically do exercises, have conversations. That it's all, most of it is very experientially based. So it's in real time. It's like, even though the situations are, set up, it has you directly in the kind of experiences that, right, you really want to work with and improve on. So the weekends are basically designed to bring those things that you want out in the forefront of the picture. But then there's to me, it's like, at this point, I've been doing this work for 13 years. An insight and a breakthrough is like a dime a dozen. Unless it actually changes how I respond to life ongoingly, it just becomes a cool thing to talk about, my past, right? But it's like, there's what the weekends create, but then it's the integrating that through the week that, to me, has become much more relevant. And so it's what you do with it during the week and all the structures in place. And, you'll be talking to people, be on the phone, you'll have like buddies and other people coaching you and like assignments to integrate all those things, and everything from looking at your house through the lens of like what's most important to you and going, would I really buy that couch? If I was really myself, would I really put that there? Would I move that around? So really integrating everything that happens in the weekend is the thing that's most important, which is like what it is to really evolve and develop in my view.
And then the one more question I have is, I asked JC this too, which was like, how, or like, what about other ways to, like, is it, like, I know, like, I've grown a lot on my own, and like I want to keep growing, and so, like, I don't know, I'm wondering, like, if I really look inside myself, and it, like, for me, everything seems very, like, self-directed, just kind of, like, in my life, like, where my realizations come from. I kind of go back to like why the program, like, I see the support, like having a community. I guess that's what is kind of drawing me to it most, and kind of like an accountability of like being there, having set structure. I don't know, maybe can you give me your take on that? Like what what do you see in the program that would help me like keep on the path that I'm going of kind of self-discovery and being more true to that or who I am.
I got so fascinated in what it was like for you to ask that question. I got really curious about, like, there was a lot, like, there was a ton of things going on for you. It seemed like a big question. I'm left with not quite, I have a sense of it, but it feels like a really important question for you. Like, but what was the experience that you just went through?
It was like, it is a big question. It's again, just putting words to like what I'm feeling. Like that's probably my biggest struggle. It's like I have all these feelings and then like I need to express them somehow so that I can be with another person. And then how do I do that? So it's just like everything's kind of like turning in my head and, getting a handle on kind of like where I'm coming from, what do I want to know, like how can I ask that in a clear way, all that kind of stuff.
Totally. Now the second go around, I just noticed that something happened to where you got a little bit more clear about something, that you were speaking a little bit more precise. What happened? Is that your experience too?
Yeah, that second question did feel different when I was saying it. And
can I ask you, what do you think made that difference? What was the difference that made that difference?
I think your question, like asking me what I was going through. It's like, okay, well, I'm having this experience of like trying to get something out. You're noticing there's all these things happening, and then I'm like, okay, what actually was happening, and kind of like taking an outside look, like looking at myself in the past from like an outside perspective, I think is what had more clarity come.
Pause 1 second. In that third round, it seemed like you were even more precise and clear.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying your laugh.
Yeah.
Was that your experience too?
No, not quite.
Oh, I didn't quite get that one.
So the first one was kind of scattered. The second one was like a little clearer, and then the third one, it feels like it shifted back a little bit.
Oh, back to
but
what?
Not quite as back to the more like scattered, trying to figure out how I'm going to say things. But now, like as I'm talking and analyzing, it feels. I don't know.
Could I ask you to just take me a favor? Can we just take a deep breath? Just take a deep breath.
Okay.
You know, I'm not exactly sure why I was drawn into asking you about what that was like, other than just the animation of it and what I imagined you were feeling. But the biggest thing that I got, that whatever this question is, which seems to be, I'm committed to growing as a human being. And it seems like I can, it's the question, can I do that by myself? Do I actually need to do that with other people? There's like these two fundamental things, right? And there's that question seems very, very, very important for you. And it's interesting, when I look at those two things, like, okay, alone or together, and I see, like, they look, it doesn't look fun to try to figure that one out. It seems like a big, like one of those, like, kind of koan, Zen koans.